नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है सीए हेमंत गुप्ता। I welcome you all to part 3 of my deliberation on IBBI regulation in relation to pre-package insolvency resolution process. In this part of the video, I shall be discussing chapter number 9 of this regulation. Chapter number 8 and chapter number 10 I will be discussing in a separate video because chapter 9 contains relatively more number of regulation in comparison to chapter 8 and chapter 10 taken together. So I'll start with chapter number 9. Chapter number 9 starts with regulation number 42. This regulation talks about scoring and improvement in relation to resolution plan. It basically discusses three things: basis of evaluation, ticket size, and what is significantly better criteria. So basis of evaluation, it says that it's basically a parameter or manner of evaluating resolution plan which may be decided by committee of creditors, and it basically helps you to assign the score. So committee of creditor may determine different parameter, let's say parameter A, B and C, assign different value to them, different weightage to them, and may evaluate plan on basic or combined score of these different parameters. Then what is significantly better? Significantly better means a score which is higher than the other plan score by a certain number or by a certain percentage. Again, this is as decided by COC and communicated to all stakeholders in advance in invitation to resolution plan. Further, it also talks about ticket size. What is the ticket size? Ticket size is basically nothing but a minimum of improvement in resolution plan over another resolution plan in terms of the score, maybe by percentage or maybe by absolute number. Again, this criteria is as approved by COC and disclosed in invitation to resolution plan. So there is nothing as such which is done behind the scene. Everything is informed to each and every stakeholder upfront. Now regulation 43 is there, which talks about invitation to resolution plan. It states that the invitation to resolution plan shall be made in the format as prescribed under these regulation in form number P11. That invitation has to be done within 21 days of commencement of resolution process or commencement of insolvency, which is pre-package insolvency resolution process commencement date. Then it goes on to state that form P11 has to be hosted on the website of corporate debtor, on the website of IBBI, and any other manner it needs to be publicized as described by COC. Then again it states that form P11 shall state from where invitation for resolution plan can be downloaded, provide the last date of submission of resolution plan, which should not be less than 15 days from the date of issue of invitation. Further, it also talks about content of invitation, which are basically detailed instruction about various timeline in the process, basis of evaluation as we just discussed, significantly better criteria, what is the ticket size is going to be, manner of improving the resolution plan, and further it also says that there shall not be any non-refundable security deposit for submission of resolution plan. Then last sub-regulation under this regulation 43 states that performance security, if at all, is approved by COC under section 54K, and its forfeiture of the same shall be applicable only in case of non-implementation of resolution plan after the approval of adjudicating authority. So it's not compulsory the performance security has to be there, but yes, as a safeguard, if it's there, its forfeiture will be happening only after non-implementation of resolution plan. Now moving on to regulation 44, which talks about resolution plan measures, that is measures to be included in resolution plan for maximization value of assets of corporate debtor. There is a list of measures to be included in resolution plan, which is an including list, and this list is on similar line with CIRP proceeding. So just for the sake of brevity, I'll discuss the content of this list. More measures could also be added depending upon the requirement of the plan or resolution applicant to achieve the objective of maximization of value of asset. So what are these measures? These measures would include transfer of all or part of asset of corporate debtor to one or more person, sale all or part of the corporate asset of corporate debtor, either by way of merger, amalgamation, demerger, etc., substantial acquisition of share of the corporate debtor, delisting of share of corporate debtor, cancellation of shares of corporate debtor, satisfaction or modification of any security interest, extension of any maturity dates or change in interest rate or other terms of debt due to corporate debtor, amendment to the constitutional document of corporate debtor, issuance of security of the corporate debtor for cash, for property, or for security in exchange of claim or interest or other appropriate purposes, obtaining necessary approval from state or central government, change in portfolio of goods and services produced or rendered by corporate debtor. So these are the tentative measures which might be included in a resolution plan, but certainly not limited to these. Now moving on to regulation number 45, which describes the mandatory content to be provided in a resolution plan. It states that there has to be an affidavit filed by resolution applicant stating his eligibility to act as a resolution applicant under this process. There has to be a statement that he has not participated in any previously failed resolution plan. Further, there has to be undertaking that information and record received with resolution plan is true and correct. Further, the resolution plan should also provide for term and plan of implementation of resolution plan, management of corporate debtor during its implementation, adequate means of supervising the implementation of resolution plan has to be provided. Then sub-regulation 3 goes on to state that resolution plan will demonstrate that it addresses the cause of default, it is feasible and viable, the resolution applicant is capable enough to carry out the resolution plan, the provision of resolution plan are effective for its implementation, and there is a proper provision for approval and appropriate timeline is also given for the same. Further, the resolution applicant is also supposed to provide how he has dealt with the interest of all the stakeholder while making the resolution plan. He has to specify it. He has to provide the amount payable under resolution plan to various stakeholder category wise. For example, to operational creditor, the amount will be paid in priority to financial creditor, and to dissenting financial creditor who had the option or opportunity to vote on the resolution plan but still chose to vote against it. So they also needs to be provided in priority of other people eligible for payment. Now moving on to regulation 46, which talks about submission of resolution plan. It states that resolution plan shall be submitted through electronic means within the time frame as mentioned in invitation to resolution plan. However, if sub-regulation 1 is not complied with, then the resolution plan shall be rejected outrightly. Then regulation 47 is there, which talks about evaluation of resolution plan. It clearly states that a resolution plan shall be evaluated on the basis of evaluation criteria as we discussed in earlier regulation, and highest score in sub-regulation 1 shall be the sole criteria for selection of resolution plan, which will be competing against base resolution plan if that base resolution plan has not already been rejected by COC. Then moving on, regulation 48 is there, which talks about approval of resolution plan. It states that plan selected under regulation 47 by COC shall be considered if it is significantly better than base resolution plan. Significantly better has already been defined under these regulations. Otherwise, base resolution plan will be considered. It goes on to state that if there is no resolution plan under regulation 46, then we have to accept the base resolution plan only. For cases not covered by sub-regulation 1 or sub-regulation 2 of regulation 48, RP shall disclose the score of all the resolution plans selected under regulation 46 and base resolution plan and invite the improvement in accordance with sub-regulation 4. So what sub-regulation 4 states is that it's a kind of a bidding sort of a thing where one applicant will be asked to improve the resolution plan by minimum ticket size, then another applicant will be asked to improve the plan by minimum ticket size, and this process will continue among the resolution applicant once there is no further improvement in the plan by ticket size. This is to be kept in mind that this whole process has to be completed within a period of 48 hours. Further, the plan with highest score under sub-regulation 4 shall be considered by the COC for sending it for approval to adjudicating authority. Now, regulation 49 is there, which talks about approval of resolution plan by adjudicating authority. It states that COC approved plan sent to adjudicating authority with compliance certificate in form P12, which is to be given by resolution professional. Then further it states that order of adjudicating authority accepting or rejecting the resolution plan is to be sent to all the participant and resolution applicant by the resolution professional. Further, in 7 days of approval of resolution plan by adjudicating authority, resolution professional to intimate each claimant about the formulas and time frame for payment, how and when their payment is to be going to be made under the plan. However, if there is no resolution plan approved by the COC or PI or pre-package insolvency resolution process termination is approved by COC, then RP is to file application in format number P13 with adjudicating authority for the purpose of termination of pre-package insolvency resolution process. So friends, with this, my discussion on chapter 9 of regulation is complete. I hope I was able to give you some kind of gist on this process. This is CA Hemant Gupta signing off. Thank you very much for watching the video.